We all know that effective leaders are great listeners. Listening is a fundamental skill. We all agree on its importance. And yet, it is the number one area where leaders need to improve. And there might be part of you that wants to say, Brooke, I am a great listener. I do really listen to people. But if you're honest with yourself and you just take a moment to reflect, I'm willing to bet there are moments every day where you find yourself sitting in conversations, in meetings, nodding along, nodding your head to signal to everyone else that you are listening, taking in what they're saying, but really you have mentally checked out and you have a vague notion of what is being shared with you, what is being discussed. So if we know why listening is so important, why are we so bad at it? And how can we get better? How can we hold ourselves accountable to be the great listeners so we can be the most effective leaders? Welcome to the Unapologetically Authentic Leadership Channel. My name is Brooke Bernard and I am a transformational leadership coach. I help my clients to reach their goals, create the future they want, and become the best version of themselves. If you're interested in working together, you can find my contact information in the description box below. And I know we all have a lot going on this time of year, so if you wanted to try Magic Mind and you haven't had a chance to place your order yet, my code UAL20 is still active and you can get up to 48% off your first subscription. I'll put the code right up here and it will also be in the description box below, along with a link that you need to take you to www.magicmind.com/UAL20. So as we all know, active listening is not a nice to have. It is a must have. And for those that are unfamiliar with the term, I will pop up the definition next to me on the screen, just to make sure we're all on the same page. It is most definitely a critical skill for effective leadership. It builds trust, it enhances our relationships, and it 100% boosts team morale. Think about it. When you are trying to talk to someone and you have something important you need to say and they are not listening, they are like half there with you and half somewhere else, thinking about the next project, the email they need to respond to, lunch, or what they're doing after work, but they're not quite with you. That is so frustrating and makes you feel like they don't really care what you have to say. So they don't really care about you or your ideas. We know this. We all want to be listened to. When we speak, we want to be not only acknowledged, but actually heard. And there is a difference between letting the words wash over you and actually listening to what someone is saying. Not only the words they're saying, but the things they aren't saying, what their body language is, the gaps that maybe they're hoping you will fill in with the context that you have as the leader. When you actually listen to your team fully, they will respect you way more, and they will want to know what you have to say as a leader, and they will be much more likely to give you their full attention when they believe that when they speak, you are giving them your full attention. Trust me, it is worth the extra effort and intention to actively listen. Because when, as a leader, you fully listen, you unlock the potential of your team because they're going to want to tell you their ideas. They're going to feel like they can really come to you and brainstorm with you and problem solve and pitch things. They will actually want to contribute more because they feel like they are being heard and what they're saying matters. And conversely, poor listening definitely damages relationships. It diminishes the quality of work and it decreases connectedness. If we all know the importance of listening and the benefits of what it does for a team and the negatives of when it's not done well, if we know this, if we already understand all of that, if it's not new news to us, then why do we struggle so hard to actively listen on a daily basis? And if you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. I so appreciate your support. And if you like hanging out with me and you're enjoying my content, please subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you can see my content as soon as it posts. First is overconfidence. Many leaders, because of their years of experience, because of their knowledge base, they really believe that they have all the answers. That if anyone in the room is going to know about the topic, it's going to be them, which is arrogant. I love confidence, but not arrogance. And this belief can make them dismissive of others, which leads to them phoning in the I'm here with you, I'm listening to what you have to say. And then we have fear of criticism. Listening, truly, actively, deeply listening, means that we may hear things that make us uncomfortable, truths that we don't want to face, problems that we didn't know existed that now, because we're aware, we have to do something about. And that can be daunting. Next, we have lack of skills. Some of us just haven't had the training to truly develop these active listening skills, effective communication skills. And if you feel like you might be one of those people who just needs a little more information, stick around, because on this channel, I'll definitely do some more work with you around how to communicate confidently as a leader. And maybe I can help you build those skills. When we don't feel confident because we feel like we have a deficiency somewhere, it leads us to avoid the thing that is causing us to feel insecure or like we're not good enough. That is called imposter syndrome. The only way to tackle that is by increasing your competence. And then we have cultural norms. In some places I've worked, people have felt very empowered to speak their mind, say what they think, ask the questions that they have. In other places, people have felt like they need to be very careful about what they say and how they say it and who they say it to. And so being able to actively listen, to build those connections, to really get to the heart of things, to really understand where people are coming from, to really hear their feedback, you need to have a culture where people are not only welcome to share their ideas, but also encouraged. And that goes back to psychological safety. We have to build a place where everyone feels like they are welcome and wanted, like they belong, and that as a member of the team, they are trusted to do their work. And part of that is making contributions and challenging the status quo, looking at new ways to innovate and to improve, because we should all be interested in continuous improvement. And if the cultural norm says, don't speak up, fly under the radar, and then you'll have the best experience here, then it won't matter how hard you try to actively listen, because there is a gap. And it is a lack of trust, a lack of faith that they will be met with positivity when they do try to share what they're thinking. So that will be something that you would have to tackle, and that you would have to find space, maybe just within your immediate team, to build that internal team culture where it is actually safe and it is welcomed and it is encouraged. But you would have to help people know that that is where you want to move, and you'd have to be ready for that to take a little bit of time, for people to trust that that is actually the new norm. Because norms take a while to establish. That's what they are. It is an understanding that everyone has about how things work. And so if you want to change how things work, you not only have to state it, but then you have to demonstrate it through your behavior, and you have to prove for quite a period of time that you actually mean what you say, and that there won't be any kind of negative repercussion or like a just kidding, that was only last week we were doing that, this week we're back to the old ways. You'd actually have to carve out that space through keeping their confidence, rewarding their courage, helping them to feel comfortable continuing that dialogue with you. And then the last one, which I think is probably accounting for about 80% of all of our poor listening is our inability to be present. You can't actively listen if you are physically in the seat, but your mind is somewhere else. You just can't. You have to be able to really sit and focus and look at the other person and give them your full attention. You need to make eye contact. You need to lean in. You need to give them space to complete their thought. And then you need to be able to think about what they just said and reflect back to them what you heard. And then understand from what they say whether or not you got it right. And if you didn't, then ask some clarifying questions or ask them to share something a slightly different way so maybe you might understand better. But all of that requires you to be in the moment, to be intentional. And we have busy schedules. We have back-to-back meetings. We have huge projects we're trying to squeeze in. We're doing all of our, what I consider to be maintenance work. So all the administrative tasks that go along with being in a leadership role. And there are always distractions. There are phone calls, pings from our inbox. Now we all have watches that ding and buzz when they want to send us some kind of alert, not to mention our phones and the people who are knocking at our doors. And for some of us, we have chats actively going on our computer while we're also in a Zoom meeting, while we're also in the spreadsheets on some project. We are split in so many different directions. So it's very hard to be present, even after you've stepped away from all of those things, because they're still in your mind, even if you aren't actively participating in them. We are so very busy. So how, when you have all that spinning around you, do you quiet your mind and focus on the person in front of you or the people around the table with you? I've got some ideas. Here are some actionable ways we can improve our listening skills and hold ourselves accountable. Make a commitment to yourself that you're going to prioritize listening time, that it's not something you're going to squeeze in while you're doing something else. You're going to set aside dedicated moments for listening in your one-on-one conversations and in your meetings. Do everything you can to eliminate having technology in front of you. If you have your laptop, close your screen. Do what you need to do to minimize all other distractions and just focus on the conversation in front of you. And years ago, the term active listening was coined, and it actually is a very effective method. So on the screen beside me, I'm going to pop up again what it is. I invite you to consciously engage in these behaviors, like summarizing what the person just said so that you can demonstrate your understanding. And here's a good one. Be brave and seek feedback. Ask your team how you can improve your listening skills. They will be the best source of information for you. And I know it can be a scary proposition to open yourself up like that, but I promise it is a sign of a great leader to truly want to learn and grow and continuously improve. And this one might just be my favorite. I'm inviting you to model active listening. If you are constantly thinking about modeling active listening for the benefit of helping your team to have more effective communication skills, then you will constantly be in that mindset where you are not just doing it for you and because you know you should, but because you are teaching, because you are training, because you are molding the next generation of leaders by helping them to have the skill set. So you benefit and they benefit. Show your team what active listening looks like. Investing time and energy into improving our listening skills is absolutely 100% worth it. And if you already have the skills, then this is my challenge to you. Hold yourself accountable to using those skills, because it shows our teams that we value their input and it fosters a sense of belonging that is absolutely critical. It is the first pillar of psychological safety for a reason. Finally, I encourage you all to reflect on your listening skills. Where are you strongest? Where are your areas for improvement? When you look at the list of active listening behaviors, where do you fall on that? Give yourself a grade and commit to making improvements. After all, we all have room to grow, and your goal as a leader should be to be the best version of you, the best leader that you can be. So live up to your potential. Become that great listener so you can be the most effective leader. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What challenges do you face with listening? And what strategies have worked well for you? Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you really enjoyed the video and took away something that is going to make you a better leader. As a reminder, my code with Magic Mind, UAL20, is good for up to 48% off your first subscription. That code will be posted on the screen next to me and in the description box below. And until next time, stay true to yourself, lead with purpose, and thank you for watching.